My name's Rich, as you probably know by now, and welcome to video 5, the last video in the Broga Introduction to Yoga course. You know the drill by now, but hey, I'm going to remind you anyway. Do you have your mat out? Have you got your comfy clothes on? Have you got your blocks? Definitely need them today. And do you have a drink? Good, we're all set then. Let's crack on with the final video by starting lying down on our backs. So you might not think lying down is going to do very much for you, but this is the perfect point to find some stillness. It might be your first bit of stillness in the day. Just start to feel a little bit relaxed, let yourself sink into the mat, and try to just notice how you're breathing. Don't change anything about your breathing. Just start to find some stillness. A few things just to contemplate while you're here. Well done for finding your mat. There's a lot of reasons why we put excuses in our day why we don't find our mat. But you've made it. You've got to your mat, and I've never met anyone who would regret practicing. Just plenty of people who regret not. So while we're lying here, just start to notice, how are you feeling? Are you feeling tired? Are you feeling energetic? Do you have any little aches, pains, niggles? We all normally do. Try and have a level of acceptance for those little niggles, those aches, those pains. Or if you're feeling tired, it's okay. This is what you've brought to your mat. That will be enough. Make sure in this practice today, you're working within your limits. You know your limits. Always work within them. Now that said, there may be some discomfort as muscles lengthen, particularly muscles we're not used very often, but pain is not okay. If you feel any pain, just stop. Good. So let's just start to notice our breath. There's 3 main rules of breathing in yoga, and although they're rules, I just want you to start to think about them. Firstly, we're going to try breathing in and out through the nose. So that said, we try and keep our mouth closed when we're practicing. The nose is designed for breathing. The mouth isn't. Number 2, try and take full inhales. Typically, we only breathe the top part of our lungs. I want to encourage you to breathe with all of your lungs. Taking big inhales to get as much oxygen in. And number 3, extending the exhale. Really slow the exhale down to tell your body it can relax, it's safe, and muscles will lengthen by themselves as our nervous system will take over. Good. So let's practice how we're going to slow that breathing down. I want to do some counter breathing and just notice what happens, particularly to your fingertips on your tummies. Good. So we're going to take a nice slow inhale to start with. Inhale for a count of 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold. And exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold for 2, 1. And exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. And continue with that breath pattern. Now, if you can't exhale or inhale for a count of 4, that's fine. Just slow it down beyond what you normally do. Good. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Now you might notice fingertips are pulling apart slightly as your tummy comes out. Let your tummy come out, it's fine. In doing so, what's happening? The diaphragm is pushing down and your tummy has no room, so it comes out. I encourage this kind of belly breathing, we call it. Good, so let's start getting a little bit of movement. We're going to try and breathe like that throughout practice, but again, don't worry if you can't. First off, just gently bring your knees up and bring your knees into your tummy and give yourself a little bit of a hug. Maybe a little rock side to side, just to start massaging the spine. Excellent. Lowering the feet to the floor. Now the second rule of breathing. Typically, we want to inhale when our body moves up and exhale when our body moves down. But again, that's just a rule of thumb. So inhale, we're going to start raising our hips, our lower back, our mid back, to come up onto our shoulder blades ideally, arms relaxed, head relaxed, neck relaxed. Hold, and then slowly lower down in reverse order from the top of the spine all the way to the bottom. Good. Inhale, repeat. Hold. Exhale, we lower. Inhale, we rise. Exhale, we lower. Inhale, last time. Slowly, controlled. Exhale, we lower. Good. Let's bring your knees into the chest again. Another little hug, but this time hands behind your knees. Now we're going to come up to seated. Now you can come up to seated how you wish to, but we're going to try something here called rock and rolls. What we're going to do, we're going to lift our feet up towards our heads, throw them forwards, and you'll come up to seated. We're going to roll down to exercise that spine, gentle massage. If you find this too much, it's fine. Just come up to seated however you wish. Good. So now we're going to take some seated poses. Now for this, you want to be in a comfortable seated position. I sit on a block. Try that. If it works, it tilts the spine a little bit, tilts that pelvis. Alternatively, you can sit on the floor. You can have your legs out straight. Find a position that works for you. So, inhale. We're going to raise our right arm. Left hand just gently on the mat. On the exhale, we're going to gently move, bending, keeping sit bones in contact with the mat. Inhale to rise. Taking it to the other side. Trying not to lean forwards. Keeping those sit bones in contact with the mat or the block. A lateral bend. Good. Arms come down. Now we're going to start twisting our spine a little bit. To do so, we're going to put our left hand onto our right knee. Right hand gently behind. Look forward. Inhale to sit tall. And on the exhale, we're going to twist, starting from the lower spine, through the mid-spine, through the shoulders, and gently through the neck. There should be no tension in our necks. Excellent. Inhale to come through center. Switch to the other sides. Inhale again to sit tall. Exhale to twist. Looking over that shoulder. But again, remember, no tension in the neck. Excellent. Coming back round. We're now going to come onto all fours. So I'll demonstrate this side on. We take what's called a neutral box position. What that means is our hands are shoulder width apart with fingers nicely spread. Hands directly under our shoulders, our knees directly underneath our hips. And then we're going to try and get the movement in our spine between our shoulder blades and our hips. We're not going to try and move our arms or our legs. On the inhale, we're going to lower the belly. The pelvis will tilt forward. We'll be pulling the shoulder blades together, gently raising the gaze. This is called cow position. Going to cat position. We're going to reverse everything we've done. Do the opposite. The head will fall. You'll suck the belly button up. You'll arch the spine. Inhale. We lower the belly, but we raise the head. Good. Exhale. What this does, it opens up the vertebrae, opens up to allow oxygen and blood flow. Start to exercise that spine, using the muscles all the way down the back and the front of the core. Now continue that for as long as you wish. If you wish to continue longer than I'm doing, feel free to pause the video. Good. From here, taking that neutral spine again, neutral box, maybe bring the knees out a little bit wider. We're going to take what's called child's pose or balasana. Hips are going to come down. Now, if your hips don't have as much flexion as me, that's fine. Your bottom may be up higher. But what we want to be able to do is bring our head down onto the mat. Or, if it doesn't go onto the mat, bring a block towards you and lower your head onto the block. In doing so, your body will feel safe. Your arms can be outstretched. And over time, as we breathe, that slow inhale, that slow exhale, maybe our bottom will go lower towards the feet. And if need be, the block can be adjusted to a different setting. Good. And this is a resting position. I encourage you to take this position whenever you need a rest. It's still an active position. You're getting hip flexion, knee flexion, ankle extension. It works the shoulders, and yet it may feel relaxing. Good. Now from here, we're going to lift up the hips again, removing that block. Hands at shoulder width apart again. And we're going to curl the toes. Now what we're going to be doing, we're going to be taking a position called downward facing dog. Arguably one of the most famous positions in yoga. To do so, we will take an inhale. And on the exhale, raising the hips up and back. Keeping feet hip width apart. Sending the hips towards the back of your mat. Knees can be bent. Heels can be off the floor. It's absolutely fine. This is about spinal extension. It is not about leg stretching. Excellent. And we breathe. Now this may feel a little uncomfortable for you as we start as beginners. And if you do need a rest, feel free. Bring the knees down. Lower your breathing, lower your heart rate. And then when you're ready again, lifting up. Now this also works the wrists. There will be weight on the wrists, although it's equally disproportionate between the feet and the wrists, but maybe clawing at the mat with your fingers will take some of that tension off the wrists. Good. Our final transition of this section of our video, we're going to be walking our hands towards the back of the mat, towards our feet. The heels will come down, the weight comes into our feet, and we'll just hang at the back of the mat in a forward fold. If it's comfortable, hold elbows, or arms can just hang and relax. Take your time. Fingertips will then come up into your hip crease, and we'll inhale to slowly rise at the back of our mat. So the main portion of movement now for video 5. As you already reckoned, we've progressed these last 4 classes. This one, we start to bring everything together. It's going to be one long flow, which will repeat once one side, and as you know, on to the other side. So try to remember everything that I've been telling you, or at least some of it. Try and remember the breath work. Try and remember the adaptations that you've felt comfortable with. Make sure you're always working within your limits. It's not my practice, it's your practice. Take rest when you need to. Press that pause button as often as you need. I will be offering some rest, but not as much as maybe you need. Take it when you need it. Good, so let's get going. Grab the blocks, front of the mat. As is traditional, we will start with some sun salutations just to warm up. Good, feet hip width apart. Let's inhale, let's raise those arms, switch on those quads, squeeze those glutes, relaxing those muscles on the exhale as we fold into Uttanasana, forward fold. hands flat onto blocks at any setting. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend, back to plank. Good. Get your balance. Just adjust your feet to be hip width. Spread your fingers, clawing that mat, taking some of the weight off your wrists. Inhale, lower as you wish to. As it's early in practice, I'm going to lower my knees, uncurl my toes and lower my head between my hands. Glide forward on the inhale. Rising into Cobra, Bhujangasana. Little bend in those elbows. Curl the toes on the inhale. On the exhale. Lifting the hips up and back. Stepping it in to shorten up my downward facing dog. Ardha Mukha Shavasana. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, bending the knees. Walking forwards, coming onto fingertips. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Arms just relax or maybe hold each elbow. Fingertips into hip crease. Inhale, slowly rise. Straight away, let's go again. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Inhale. Walking forwards slowly onto fingertips. Exhale. We fold. Inhale. We rise. So look guys, this is a measure of how far you've come. What we've just done is what we did in lesson 1. You're now working with all these other asanas, these other poses, linking them together into flows. You've progressed a long way from lesson 1. I really salute you. Good. So let's start the main flow of this last video. Feet hip width apart. It is going to get harder. I will give you due warning. Inhale, lifting the arms up. Exhale, we bend as normal into Uttanasana. Inhale to fingertips. Exhale, hands come down, stepping back to plank. So look, we're going to try something called a side plank. It is tricky. I will show you adaptations. I'll show you what the traditional pose is, and then we can work from there with adaptations. What I'd like you to do is move your left hand into the middle of the mat, directly under your face. You're then going to lower your heels to the left. You're going to lift your right hand off and twist to the side, keeping the hips high, supporting your core. Good. And then we're going to rest by coming down. Now that is the traditional pose. But frankly, that's hard, okay? So let's offer you an adaptation. From plank, if you're feeling it hard in the wrists, instead of putting your hand into the middle, I'd like you to bring your hand over and then bring your forearm down and twist, lowering your elbows, your ankles, and twist out. Less pressure on the wrist, but there is still pressure on the shoulder. If you find this hard, feel free, lower the hips, inhale, raise the hips. Practice this to engage the core, to strengthen the shoulder. Keep repeating, and you will strengthen over time. What you may be able to do is go back into plank and take the more traditional pose. Left hand in the middle, ankles drop, and we twist. Good. We come back to rest in plank. We take breath. We don't rush, but we then lower and forwards into Cobra. I'm going to take a little rest here into child's pose. Once that heart rate's come down a little bit, breathing is slowed, hands come forward, uncurl your toes, inhale, downward facing dog. So last video we stepped forward. We're not going to do the strength training today, but we are going to step forward. So inhale, raise that right leg, bend that right knee, weights coming forward over the wrists, stepping forwards behind that wrist. Remember, you can always take the adaptation, grab the ankle, pull it forward. Once you feel like you've got your balance, feet are on train tracks, inhale to rise. Use this quad to push you up. Back heel drops down and inwards. Left foot facing 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Chest faces forward. Warrior one stance. Let's finish the pose. Inhale. Raising the arms if it's comfortable. Maybe holding a hand. Taking what's called pistol grip. Exhale. Front knee travels forward. Inhale to rise. Exhale. Forward. One more time. Inhale to rise. Exhale. Forward. Good. Inhale to rise. Hands come into prayer. Let's hop that back foot forward slightly. Taking that bowspring bow like we did last time. Left foot still facing 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Front foot facing 12. Feet still hip width apart. Inhale. Exhale. We're going to bow down over that straight front leg as far as our hamstring will allow comfortably, working within your limit. Inhale to rise all the way up. One more time. Exhale. We bow. Lengthening this hamstring and calf, frankly. Inhale to rise. As we did in the last video, let's transition to warrior three. Hands in prayer or by your sides. Weight comes forward, bending that right knee. Come on the toes of your left foot. Lifting that foot, flexing that foot. Straightening your right leg. Lowering to wherever you're comfortable. Good. And you breathe. Excellent. Now forgive me, I'm going to be turning your back on you for a little while. But you're going to take warrior two next. So what I'd like you to do, you can take a rest if you need to. But come up. And then we're going to keep this foot raised. He says wobbling. To step back to the back of the room. Good. Now notice here, my feet are now in line. So this foot is in line with the arch of my back foot. Inhale. Warrior two. Exhale. We bend that front knee forward. Inhale. Ease off. Exhale. We bend. We lengthen. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Last time. Exhale. Keeping low. No movement from below the waist. What I'd like you to do with your arms, lift the front arm, lower the back. Reverse warrior. The gaze to your top hand. Good. Inhale. Ease off. Now we're taking side angle. We did this last time. Bending this front knee. Left hand onto hip. Right elbow to right knee. Keeping that chest face out to the side of the mat. Release this hand. Swing it down. Open up the chest to create side angle. Ideally a straight line from fingers to back foot. Good. Inhale. Rise all the way up. Exhale. Warrior two. Good. Cartwheeling the hands down. We're going to step back to plank. Adjust. Get comfortable. Inhale. Lower and forward. Good. Exhale. Hips up and back. Downward facing dog. We're going to do another new pose. It's called pigeon. Last time we did lizard. Inhale. Lift the right leg. Bend the right knee. This time you're going to bring your right knee towards your right wrist. but your right foot is going to come across the mat, like so. May feel look awkward. Trust me, it's more comfortable than it looks. Sliding that back leg back, lowering that back knee, uncurling the toes. My leg is across the mat. This will feel very different one side to the next. Pigeon. Again, opens up this hip, stretches deep here in this hamstring. Good. Again, like lizard though, feel free to come down to elbows if you so wish. Good. Inhale. Removing blocks, coming up high into high pigeon. Now we're going to come out of it. A bit like lizard, harder to come out of than arguably to get into. Weight into hands, uncurl the toes, lift the knee. Stepping back to plank. And then all I'm going to ask you to do is walk your hands all the way back, weight into the heels, forward fold at the back of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, we fold. Fingertips into hips. Inhale to rise. That's the flow ended, but as always, that's only halfway. Let's do it the other side. So take a break, take a drink if you need it. Press pause, let your breathing rate come down. When we're ready, let's start at the top of the mats. Blocks again, hip width apart. Inhale, raising the arms. Exhale, bend the knees, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands come down, step or jump to plank. Good, get your balance. Inhale, lower as you wish. I'm going to take chaturanga, not lowering my knees. Forward, inhale. Cobra, bhujangasana. Curling the toes. Exhale, hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Shortening that dog up. Taking some breaths here. It is a kind of restorative position. Good. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. This time lifting the left leg. Bending that left knee. Weight comes forward. Over the wrists. Bring that left foot behind that left wrist. Up. Are your feet still on train tracks? They should still be at least hip width apart. Good. Lowering that back heel down and inwards. Right foot facing 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock. Left foot midday. Good. Chest forward. Warrior one stance. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. As always, exhaling on the lengthening or the stretching. Inhaling, easing off. Good. Hands into prayer. Little hop forward. Taking that bow of that front straight leg. 2 bows. Inhale. Exhale. Keeping that leg straight. Letting that dictate how far you can bow. Don't try and overstretch that hamstring and calf. Inhale. Come all the way up. And exhale. We bow. Good. Inhale. Come all the way up. Now we're taking warrior 3. Balancing on left leg. Hands into prayer for myself. But as I said, hands can be anywhere you like. Bending that front knee, leaning forwards. Toes of the back foot. Lifting that right foot. Straightening the standing leg. Looking for a straight line. Foot to head. But again, you can be down here as much as I'll be pleased to see anyone up here. You're still using the core, still using your hips. Good. Warrior 3, Virabhadrasana 3. Inhale, come up slightly, and we're going to step back to warrior 2 feet. Gracefully almost. Stepping back. Back foot now. 3 o'clock. Remembering that's 12. Front foot, 12 o'clock. feet broadly in line, arch to heel. Open the arms up, inhale. Exhale, bending forward. Inhale, come up. Exhale, bending that knee directly forward to 12 o'clock. Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. Inhale. Exhale. Drishti to the front middle finger traditionally. Good. Keeping that front knee bent. We're going to reverse the warrior. Lift the left hand, lower the right. Gaze to the left hand. Everything's still from waist down. Inhale. Ease off that knee. Give it a bit of a rest before taking side angle. Remember how we did this? Right hand to right hip. Bending that left knee. Keeping that hip open. Strong straight leg. Left elbow. Left knee. Excellent. Now to finish the pose, release that right hip. Swing down and open up that chest towards the wall, towards the side of the mat. If you wish to, you can lift this elbow for a little bit more, or up there for a little bit more, but be careful of that one. A lot of work on the core. Good. Inhale, raise all the way up. And now we're going to cartwheel our hands all the way to the mat. Let's step back to plank. I noticed at the start of this, I did a side plank. I missed it out this time round. You don't get away with it though. Right hand to the middle of the mat, or right forearm. Taking this hand in the middle, right heels drop to the right, open the chest out to the side, lifting the arm, keep the hips high. Good, use the core to support yourself. When you need to rest, bring the hands down into plank. Lower yourself down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Shorten up that dog. And we rest. If you need to take child's pose, take a child's pose. Inhale, lifting the left leg this time. Bending the left knee. Left knee's coming towards the left wrist. Left foot's coming across the body, like so. Wiggle that right foot back. Strong, straight back leg. Weight in the hands. And notice my shin is roughly parallel to the front of the mat. That's how the pose is traditionally. Feel free though. Your leg may not be there. My hip is opened quite wide. If your leg is here, you are still doing the pose. It's absolutely fine. Over time, and I mean years of practice, your leg may end up there. Alternatively, you may just be able to do the pose now. There's necessarily rhyme and reason. But in this pose, again, you can use blocks to come onto elbows. And again, over time, traditionally, floor. And somehow, I find this pose comfortable. Inhale. Weight up into the hands. Uncurl the back toe. Lift the back knee. Lift that leg up. Hold it. Step back to plank. Lower the knees. Take a well-earned child's pose. Onto the knees, lift the knees up, take your last downward facing dog of this class. Bending the knees and walking forward, or feel free to take a jubilant jump forward. Hang in that forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale to forward fold. Inhale to rise all the way up. Good, we're very nearly there, guys. We're going to take a little forward fold on the floor before taking relaxation pose. So make your way to a comfortable seated position. Keeping the knees raised. Lots of back work there. Let's just neutralize that forward fold. Maybe stretching the legs out. If your back allows, head towards toes. Inhale to rise up. Exhale to fold. Good work, guys. Inhale to rise. You'll be very glad to know we've got to the relaxation stage. So make your way to the back to your mat, lying down on your back, and we'll start some Shavasana. Okay, we've made it to what's called Shavasana pose. Now, Shavasana is a pose where we just surrender. All the hard work is done. It's our time just to find a bit more stillness and relax. You don't need to breathe in a certain way. There's no movement really involved. Just feel heavy. Just sink into the mat, a sense of surrendering to your hard work. Arms traditionally are by your sides or out like this, palms facing forward. But if you're more comfortable, hands on the belly, then do so. I've got my legs out straight, but equally, if your back is a little bit twingy, maybe you raise your knees, maybe pyramid your knees together, lean them against each other. The most important thing in Shavasana is that you feel comfortable to relax and just be. Traditionally, the actual definition of Shavasana is actually corpse pose. So don't try and stay here too long, but just relax. Inevitably, you will have some thoughts come across your mind, little invasive thoughts, maybe about what you've got to do next. Try to avoid it, but frankly, it's impossible. So instead of try to avoid, just let them flow by you. Try not to hold on to them. Try not to judge them as good thoughts or bad thoughts. Imagine those thoughts on a river just flowing by, and sink into your relaxation, which you have earned. You will now just hear some music as we give you a chance to find that stillness and have a moment of relaxation. So, to slowly awaken ourselves, introduce some small movements to fingertips, to toes. Maybe windscreen wipe your feet, maybe raise the knees. Listen to your body. Does your body feel like it needs something? There's no hurry to come out of Shavasana. It's your practice after all. Maybe you need a little knee hug. Started. Little roll side to side. Slowly, in your own time, make your way to a seated position. You can do the rock and rolls like we did at the start, but frankly, come up to it in any way. Maybe rolling onto your side, pushing yourself up, and coming to a seated position just to finish practice. In doing so, I'd just like to commend you on your effort in this class. Thank you for letting me guide you. I like to use the word guide rather than teach. It's your practice. I'm merely showing you the signposts of it. I've thoroughly enjoyed guiding you. So until maybe next time, if you'd like to join me, hands into the chest. Namaste, gents. Namaste. And now the most important bit. You've deserved that well-earned cold beer. Namaste once again.